Do it. Decided to use my phone. The camera that I've got isn't very good. Well, it's good, but the sound doesn't carry it very well. Cool. Right. So, Zach has been chosen as a leader here.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
Obviously, as a parent, I'm pleased and proud of him for that, because certainly for myself and Zach's dad, you know, we see him as a boy who he has lots of good qualities, as well as being a sportsman, and I think something like a sports leader really sums him up well, because he likes having responsibility, he wants to do well, he's a very able sportsman as well, so he's able to, you know, if he's leading other children, younger children, you know, he's able to impart his good skills and his ability onto them, as well as, you know, all those other sort of skills and qualities that he has of, you know, of being kind and very inclusive, and that's something that, you know, his teachers all the way through school have said about him. You know, he is very kind and inclusive to all, and that's what is really important, I think, when it comes to sport, because we all have experiences of our own when we were children, and not everyone did feel included when it came to sport, for different reasons, and so I think, you know, he makes a good candidate as being a sports leader, because he would encourage, you know, other people to get involved. Don't get me wrong, there's times I know when he gets frustrated when, you know, other people aren't necessarily quite at his level, but I think, you know, he wouldn't show that necessarily in front of others. He'd probably come home and tell us about it and say, you know, but so really pleased, and as I say, you know, to sum up, it's really bringing all of his good qualities together, and something that he could really shine in to build his confidence as well.
And having worked with him on the training day, you could see the empathy that he has for other children, the younger ones. Like you're saying, he might be frustrated inside, but he was able to deal with that in a really good way. Is that something that he's always had?
He has, actually right from preschool. That was the feedback that we had. You know, he absolutely, you know, showed a lot of empathy, and, you know, would be happy to, you know, join in with anyone and doing anything, because it's very easy at the age that they are to be girls, or or those other children, peers who aren't necessarily quite as sport-minded or gifted when it comes to sporting activities. So,
great, it's a brilliant quality to have. Have you noticed any changes in him since being a leader, in his development, since he's been running the sessions? Does he talk about it?
He does, he will. He'll, you know, I mean, every day we talk about how his day's gone and things, and he certainly will talk about, you know, what's happened and what he's taken part in. I mean, he's coming to year 5, and I don't know if it's all a part of him sort of getting that bit older within the primary school system, or, you know, whether it's a direct impact of the sports leaders, but he's, you know, as a young man, he's you can see him growing in confidence, and huge confidence actually in situations like outside of school, you know, when we're away from all the comfort of what he knows, home and school and those places. Absolutely huge confidence, and it could be a mixture of things, but I would say definitely the sports leaders will have impacted on that.
Great, and for us, it's really important that they do develop as leaders, and when he gets into year 6, and not just Zach, but other children as well, when that transition into secondary school from being in a relatively small primary school like here to then mixing with hopefully that grounding in delivering sessions will help him with that.
It is, you know, as we know, that move from primary to secondary is massive, and I certainly appreciate that, you know, for those young people who you know, are involved in, you know, sort of sporting activities, the you know, the sports leaders, teams, it's that sense of belonging which gives you confidence. And I think especially for that move up to secondary, where it's so very different to what, you know, he will have always ever known, and for him to be confident in his own abilities, and to feel confident with others, with peers, to feel that he can say, come on, let's do it this way, or whatever. You know, it's really important. It's going to put him in just a really good position with moving on.
Yeah, I think what I like about here at this school is that they don't just choose the sporty children to be leaders, because I think, like you said earlier, you touched on that children that play sport outside of school naturally pick up how to interact with a number of children, how to interact with adults, and they naturally become leaders in their little fields anyway. But for the less sporty ones, it's not necessarily something that comes natural to them. So I think perhaps more could be done either from us or from schools in general to help with that transition to secondary, because it is huge for those more shy children, the ones that don't work as well as in teams. It's harder, that transition for those children.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Physical activity in young people. It's a very broad question, but what are your thoughts on that in this sort of current generation? For Zach, and he's got an older sister, for both of them, as parents, you know, we really encourage them to take part in as much physical activity as possible. We have the devices and the gadgets at home, and, you know, given the choice, given the chance, they would sit at home in the warm and comfort and sit in front of a screen for hours on end. And so, and they can do that sometimes, but you know, in the society that we currently live in, where, you know, children just they aren't, you know, they aren't developing quite necessarily as children did in generations gone past, because they're not able to have the exposure to sort of not dangerous situations, but in this day and age we keep our children so protected, and rather than, you know, when we were growing up, we were able to go out for adventures, and there wasn't, you know, I suppose the media has a big part to play on that, but I think and also, you know, a huge thing that we're hearing about all the time at the moment is young people's mental health. Absolutely.
And I think that's massive, and actually, you know, or, you know, not just me, but my husband and I, you know, we really encourage them to take part in things, and our daughter will say, because when we say, you know, about her social life, and she'll say, well, my activities are my social life, and absolutely they are, because she gets to spend time with her friends, she's doing physical things, and we all know, or those of us, I think not everyone enjoys taking part in physical activities, but those of us that do, we all know how good it then makes us feel.
Absolutely.
I know if I've been and done a class, or I've been for a swim, or taken the dog for a walk, whatever it might be, I do then feel so much better about myself, because I'm not stuck at home, and
and I think, like you said, times have changed, and we kind of have to roll with it to an extent, and you kind of accept the whole video games, consoles, and social media side of it. But as you say, if you can get children into physical activity as well, it's a great balance to have, because I think you can go too far the other way and say, right, you're not doing anything, social media, no video games, and then you're going to have children that rebel. But having a balance between the two, I think, is the way that it needs to be moving forward.
I do as well, and I I can't sit here and say, you know, oh no, they don't have anything like that, or don't do that, because they do. Because actually, if I stopped them from doing that, then I would be making them very different to pretty much the rest of
Yeah,
their
absolutely.
peers.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, we want them doing, and the thing is, you know, like I said before, I think when you're doing physical activity, most of the time it's with other people,
Yeah.
and I think it's so important to feel that you belong,
Yeah.
and yeah, feel a part of something.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you get used to interacting with other people.
Yes.
So when you're talking about mental health, not problems, but you know, well-being and that type of thing, children suffering with stress and things, which was never heard of when I was growing up. But I think because playing sport and yourself as well, and Zach, because you interact with people on a regular basis, you would talk to someone about your problems if you had any, and Zach hopefully the same. You're used to interacting with people, whereas children that don't, and they are sat on games consoles and they're sat on social media, and that is their form of interaction. That's, I think, the worry, that they look to other people online for that support network, and it's not there, or it's a really negative support network, and then it doesn't help them, and then they spiral into stress, and hopefully not depression, but sometimes it does happen. So it is worrying, and like for my two growing up, it's obviously 2 and 4 is a bit of a concern.
It is,
But we try and do as much as we can as a family. Like, they're both active, and we go just for walks and things, and try and get out and about, and get into the fresh air. And it helps, doesn't it?
It
Being with
does.
family and
It does, definitely, and I think it's important to encourage that as much as possible, and but to have that family time, and it's not necessarily just that, you know, your little family unit, it can be that bigger family circle as well, but I think, it's for, you know, mental well-being and social and language development and all of that. I think it's really important, the activity and spending time with other people.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's it. Cool. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Recorded now.
I can't remember.
That could be a worry.